Hey there, everyone. Art Burns here. Welcome to the Showing Up to Your Life podcast and YouTube channel. I am so excited to be here with you, and I am just so happy for you to be here with me. So, welcome. We've been talking about resilience a lot these last couple of days, and I want to kind of continue on that a little bit because, as we talk about here, life happens moment by moment. But that's not how it seems all the time, right? A lot of times it seems like life happens day by day, even week by week, even month by month, maybe year by year, right? But that's just not true, right? Every single moment offers us the opportunity to be in touch with our gratitude, to be in touch with our altruism, to be in touch with our kindness, to be connected to ourselves and to others, right? Every single moment that passes offers us this opportunity, right? But what happens a lot of times, right, is that we're not available to this. Right, I talk a lot about how life kind of reaches out to us to interact with us, right? And when we're not available to that, right, we miss it, right? We miss the opportunities, right? And these opportunities, the missing of these opportunities can have long lasting and very, very kind of strong consequences and strong ramifications on how our life kind of works, right? And the way this happens, right, oftentimes is that we instead of when we're present and we're attending to each passing unfolding moment, right, then we are open to all these beautiful things that I talk about, right? We are open to the life when it reaches out to us. We're open to it, right? We're available to it, right? And this can be many, many different things, right? It can be in a conversation that you might have had with someone, that you could possibly have with someone, that you might not have with someone, right? And the thing is that let me digress just a little bit here, right, is that the unfolding moment by moment, right, the experience that we have that unfolds moment by moment, right, a lot of times what we do is we notice the times that are really what we label as really good and the times that we label as really bad, right? But most of our experience, right, most of this moment-to-moment unfolding experience that we have is actually comprised of what we might consider mundane. We might consider it banal. We might consider it unworthy of noticing, right? Like for instance, let's say you're on a bus. You take the bus to work in the morning, right? The bus ride is just the bus ride. Let's say on any given day, right? Most of the time that you're taking the bus to work, right? You don't see an accident that your bus gets into, right? That doesn't happen. Your bus doesn't crash into another car every day. At least I hope not. You don't see a fist fight, right? You don't have an interaction with someone that is either really positive or really negative on most days, right? Most days you're just sitting there, you're scrolling through your phone, or you're maybe reading a book or a newspaper or something. If people read newspapers anymore. I used to read the newspaper on my commute. It shows how old I am. But the point is that you're just you're doing your thing, and then you get off the bus and you go to work, right? Nothing really special happened, right? The problem is that it's not even just the negative things, right? Nothing positive happened either, right? Nobody came up to you and said, hey, here's a bag full of money for you. It's your lucky day. Like that didn't happen either, right? It was just very banal, very just ordinary, just almost unnoticeable, right? When we are present with it, even if we're reading our book and scrolling our phone, whatever, we can do that with presence, right? And we can do that by being attentive to what is happening as it's happening, right? The problem comes in, right? When one thing that happens in a certain moment, right? Like, let's say as you're getting ready to leave the house for work, the dog pooped on the rug or something like that, right? So you get upset that the dog pooped on the rug. You had to clean it up, and it, made you like rush a little bit. You felt a little late. You might be thinking about that now that you're on the bus, right? Now, that moment that happened, right? It took 5 minutes to clean, but now you're thinking about it, right? You're thinking about that darn dog pooped on the rug again. I can't believe that happened. It's not even my dog. It's my roommate's dog or my wife or my husband's dog. And, my kids made me get this dog. I don't even like this dog. Like, why do I have this dog in my life? It just causes me so much trouble, on and on and on and on, right? And these thoughts and these emotions that come through it, right? Because every time you're thinking that, you're getting a little bit more tense, a little bit more angry, a little bit more resentful, a little bit more frustrated, or whatever the emotions that are coming through that, and they're all happening in your body, right? So you're feeling tension, you're feeling pain and suffering is what you're feeling, right? So while that's happening, right, you are not available to whatever is happening on the bus ride, right? Whether it's, the person handing you a big, pile of cash, or somebody who, maybe you were going to have a good conversation with somebody. Maybe you would have seen something that, passing outside the bus, you might have seen something, you might have noticed something. Something might have been impactful, but in all likelihood, you're taking those thoughts and those emotions and you're getting off the bus with them, right? And you're still all grumpy and angry, and you go to your coffee shop and you order coffee and you're still grumpy and angry, and you take your coffee, go up to your office, you're still grumpy and angry, and you go through your day, and the entire day can be colored by that one thing that happened this morning, right? That only took, 5 minutes to fix. Maybe you got to send the rug out for dry cleaning, and that's going to cost another $30, $40, whatever, or you got to, whatever, it is what it is, but it's only this little, thing that happened, right? But that thing that happened is taking you away from the ability to be present with your life, to show up for your life and make yourself available to all of the beauty and all of the wonderful things that might be happening in your life at any given time, right? So this manifests in, when people come to you, right? When your children or your spouse or your loved ones or your friends, right? Or your job or your ability to balance your checkbook, right? Any of this stuff that you're engaged in, right? It's going to be colored by the thoughts and the emotions that arise from that one thing that happened hours and hours and hours ago, right? And when that happens, right, you are no longer available to truly experience your life, right? So, again, maybe it's like a $10 bill that was on the floor that you missed, right? Because you're all wrapped up in yourself, right? Maybe it's a wonderful conversation someone was going to have with you. Maybe an opportunity for some sort of growth of any kind, right? And you're going to miss it. And you're going to miss it because you're wrapped up in the thoughts and the emotions and the physical sensation that arose from the dog pooping on the rug, right? And of course, it could be anything. I'm just saying a dog pooping on the rug. Maybe you don't have a dog. Maybe you have cats. Maybe you have fish, whatever, but maybe you don't have any pets. But there's things that are going to happen, right? And this is the way or this is the real benefit of resilience, right? The ability to bring ourselves back into a place of, of conscious attention to what is happening as it's happening, right? That when we do that, we come back to a place, no matter what happened this morning or yesterday or the day before or last week, last year, last month, whatever, whatever happened does not have to color this present moment, because I cannot stress enough, right, that life is a series of unfolding moment by moment experiences, right? And when we bring those experiences, when we can live those experiences, right, intentionally and with presence and with acceptance and with some compassion, with curiosity, right? When we open ourselves to it, that is when we can get in touch with the things that feel good and that make us, more the people that we want to be, right? They can put us in touch with the altruism, the gratitude, the kindness, the sharing of our time with others, right? That's where it is, right? And so that's why resilience is so important, right? Now, resilience is essentially well-being, right? Or resilience is the act of coming back to well-being. So one of my favorite people on the planet, right? And I talk about this gentleman a lot, Dr. Dan Siegel, right? Now in modern Western psychology, right, we do a really, really good job at studying pathology, right? We do a really good job of studying what is wrong with people psychologically, right? Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, right? But we don't do very much at all in studying the well-being, right, of the mind, right, and the body and the whole, psychology, right? And Dr. Siegel has done some amazing work in this area, right? And he's come up with this this concept that he calls the river of well-being. And I want to share this with you today because it's really a really beneficial way to look at our own, psychological wellness, right? So the river of well-being, right? The way that he describes it, and he's written he's written a ton of books, right? Like many, many books. My favorite ones that he's written, among the favorite, I love all of his work. I really do. And you should look him up. He's amazing. But he's written 3 really amazing books for parenting, right? The Whole Brain Child, No Drama Discipline, and The Power of Presence, I believe, is the last one that just came out. And he's co-written all 3 of these with another wonderful person named Tina Payne Bryson. She's also a doctor. I should call her with her proper title. Dr. Bryson and Dr. Siegel have written these amazing books. And in these books, he talks a lot about the river of well-being. Now, this is something he talks about in a lot of his work, but specifically in parenting, because when we're looking at our kids, we can see when they are not in their river of well-being, but it also affects us and the other people that we deal with. And the more you can understand this is part of emotional intelligence, right? Understanding this about ourselves and understanding and recognizing this in others. Okay, so let me explain to you how this river of well-being works. So picture yourself just floating down a nice river, a beautiful river in the countryside in a canoe, right? The water is just gently flowing. Everything's feeling great. It's a beautiful day. You are in this river of well-being. Okay, and when we're in this river of well-being, right, we're feeling very kind of, satisfied and sort of connected to the world around us, right? We're feeling good, right? We're feeling like we're contributing to the world. We're feeling like we're connected, like we know our place in the world, right? Everything that is happening in a sense of well-being, right? Pardon me. Now, the way the river of well-being works, right, is that on the banks of the river, right, the right bank of the river represents chaos, right? And so when we drift a little out of this river of well-being, and ironically, the image of the river of well-being, really when we are in that place of the river of well-being, that's the flow state, right? That's when everything is good, right? We feel stable, but we also feel flexible, right? Like we can handle what comes at us because we're in this state of flow, right? Like that's how it feels, right? And so when you go off to the one side, the right side of this river of well-being, you're going to find chaos, right? Just real inability to function and focus and you're just feeling very volatile, right? Very right? That's the bank of chaos. The other side of the river of well-being is the bank of rigidity, right? And so you go from out of control to too much control on the left side, right? So you have this sense of overanalyzing, of overthinking, of trying to control every last detail of every last thing that's happening in your world, right? That's the bank of rigidity, right? Now, these 2 banks of the river actually represent the 2 sides of the brain, right? The right side of the brain is known for emotion, and is responsible for emotion, is responsible for connection to, to the universe. It's wild. It's out of control. It's the raw creative juices, right? It's that like wild child of our brain, right? That's chaotic, right? And so the left brain, right, is very, very logical, very linear, very labeling, very listing. It loves the fact that everything I just said starts with L, and that's a quote from Tina Prayne Bryson, actually, Dr. Bryson. And so the idea is that if we're in either one of these, right, we're not in a very good place, right? So when we're feeling overly chaotic, right, we can't focus on things, we can't function. That might be a great way to be if you're, if you're an artist and you're in that creative place of your life. That's fine. If it's in a controlled and a present and an intentional way, well, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you're in a meeting, right, or you're trying to get something done, then that's not necessarily going to serve you, right? So, and then of course on the other side, it's that rigidity, right? And so the idea then is when we find ourselves either on the bank of chaos or the bank of rigidity, what it means is that our brain is not working in integration. And when we find ourselves in that river of well-being, that means that our brain is working in integration, right? The left side is talking to the right side really well. The top is talking to the bottom. The back is talking to the front, right? All the areas of the brain are working together. Now, the good news is that meditation itself, right, it promotes integration of the brain, right? In fact, one of the hallmark findings of neuroscientists who studied the brains of expert meditators, one of the most important things they found was that the expert meditators they generated high amplitude gamma waves in their brain. So brain waves are ways that there's an oscillation of brain waves that's happening all the time in your brain, right? And so when the gamma waves, there's like 4 or 5 different types of waves, but the gamma waves are the ones that encompass every part of your brain, right? It is all about the integration, right? And when your brain is experiencing gamma waves, again, that's when you are in the flow. Everything is awesome, right? Like you are on your game. You have all of the faculties of your power of your mind, right? And so that's really good, right? And so this comes naturally through meditation, right? And importantly, that the people who were expert meditators, right, they showed high levels of gamma waves even when they weren't meditating. So again, that's that thing that, also this is a concept of Dr. Siegel, is that we go from a state of gamma wave, production in our brain to a trait of gamma wave production in our brain. So we go from a state of integration to a trait of integration. We go from a state of well-being to a trait of well-being, right? And so the way to do this is through practice, right? And it does not, I know I say like expert meditators who do thousands and thousands of hours of meditation, right? And so so yeah, it takes a long time to get to the point where this is just a kind of automatic thing, and you're at that level, right? However, it is a spectral action, right? So it's not like you have to wait years and years and years before you gain the benefit of this. You're going to gain the benefit of it actually pretty quickly just by doing formal and informal practices of meditation. Right? And I can teach you those, I can tell you about those. But the thing is that even in the very early stages of doing mindfulness, meditation in formal or informal practices, right, which is what mindfulness is, basically, what you're going to do is you're going to develop a sense of awareness so that you can see when you are caught up on one of these banks outside the river of well-being. Okay, now this is key, right? Because when we can see it, now we have lots of different ways to regulate ourselves, right? And that's what regulation is all about, right? That's what resilience and regulation is all about, just getting ourselves back to that place of well-being, right? Now, I'm going to share with you two really cool practices that you can use any given time that you find yourself on the bank of chaos or the bank of rigidity, okay? Now, again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to first have awareness, right? Because we don't, right? When we're thinking about that dog pooping on the rug, we're not taking a step back, right? We're caught up in it, and we don't realize that we're being overly chaotic or overly rigid with our thoughts and our emotions and the activity of our brain, right? And so the awareness is absolutely key. So it's not a question of being like, okay, well, Art gave me these great practices, so I'll just use those anytime I need them. No, we need to do the practice day by day, moment by moment, so that we can see when we are in these places, so that we know to use these practices, right? And I cannot stress this enough, okay? So when we are feeling that real chaos, right? That's the right brain is, literally there's more activity happening on the right side of the brain than the left side of the brain, right? So what we want to do is we want to bring these into balance, right? And the way to balance from the right side to the left side is super simple. There's a practice called, and this is used by everyone from, ancient Buddhist practices to Dr. Siegel and Dr. Price, and talk about this, and many, many others in between, right? So one of the greatest names I've heard for this is name it to tame it, right? So anytime we're feeling like, again, that chaos, that overly over emotional, I can't think straight, I can't focus, I can't stop my mind, I'm just feeling overwhelmed, right? That's chaos, right? And that means that your right side of your brain is much, much more active than the left side of the brain. So the way to balance these is to use the left side of your brain. Remember what I said, as I quoted Dr. Tina Payne Bryson here, the left side of the brain is your logic. It is linear thinking. It is labeling. It is listing, right? It loves the fact that everything that I just said, it starts with L, right? So what you want to do is you want to name the emotions that you're feeling, right? And literally just the process of looking for them and trying to come up with descriptors of the emotions that you're feeling is going to exercise the left brain, right? So you're literally using this part of your brain more than this, so that what you're doing is you're bringing the energy into balance, and you're bringing yourself into integration, right? Because what you're doing, you're literally integrating the two sides of your brain doing this, because you're, in between the two, hemispheres of the brain. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. The two hemispheres of the brain are connected with it's the corpus callosum that's in the middle, and there's these fibers that literally connect the two sides of the brain, right? And these fibers are, energy passes between them, right? So literally, when you're exercising your left brain, you're integrating the energy from your right to your left. Okay, but what happens when we're in the bank of rigidity, right? What happens when we're just overly analytical, when we can't get out of our own head, right? When we feel the need to just control everything, right? That no, it's got to be this way, it can't be any other way, or else I'm going to lose my crap, right? when we feel that, we're kind of bouncing back and forth in between the two. But when we're in that place of rigidity, right? Like it's this, it can't be anything but this, right? That means that the left brain is a lot more active than the right brain. And so what we want to do is we want to bring those back into balance. And the way we do that, remember, the right brain is your emotions, but it's also the part of your brain that is connected to your body. When you feel a sensation in your body, when it rises up to when you perceive a sensation in your body, what's happened is your body is connected with the right side of your brain. Right? That's how it works, right? The sensations rise up, they come into your right brain, not your left brain. So in order to exercise the right brain to balance out the rigidity, what we want to do is we want to sense into our body, right? And literally just feeling what's happening in your body. And so I would suggest first start with your feet, okay? Feel the bottoms of your feet on the floor beneath you. Okay, feel your body in the chair or standing. Feel your sense of balance. Just feel it. Another thing really cool thing you can do is try to feel your heartbeat. Now, most people can't feel their heartbeat. In fact, it's a really, really high level of self-awareness that very few people are able to feel their heartbeat, right, without touching it, right? But what I mean is just look for it, and just the act of looking for it is working this part of your brain. Right? And you can also do other parts of your body. I mean, you can feel your hands, you can feel your lap, you can feel your stomach, you can feel whatever, right? And doing that, again, what this does is increases the activity on the right side, which brings it into balance. Integration, right? That's what it's all about. It's about integration. So I hope you enjoy these practices. And again, I cannot stress enough how important it is to first develop awareness, because most of the time we don't realize that we're in these places of chaos or rigidity, and we only realize it through the consequences of our actions, right? We realize it by being short with somebody, by saying something we wish we could take back, by avoiding certain things, by kind of closing ourselves off to things. That's how we realize that it's happened, because of the consequences of those things, right? So the awareness of seeing this happen moment by moment, that is absolutely key to being able to fix it, to get yourself back into resilience and into well-being. Okay, so if you would like to learn more about how to do that, okay, I want to let you know that for a limited time, you can go to my website and you can go on there and you can book a coaching session. Okay, it is a 45-minute session. You and I will sit down and we will talk, and we will figure out where in your life the stress is happening, where in your life the emotional intelligence will help, where, what is it that's preventing you from showing up to your life. Okay, this is something that people pay me lots of money to do this, but I'm giving it away as an initial thing. I just want to help people. So if you feel like you want to, kind of explore this, and then after this first session, then we decide, okay, do we want to go ahead with more coaching and do a whole program, or we don't, and there's no obligation. Okay, I'll never make you feel bad or anything like that, and it won't cost you a penny. So if you're interested in that, go over to my website, artburnscoaching.com. There's a link, I got to rename it, but there's a link that says book a free call, right? And so click on that. You go into my calendar. You just pick a day and a time that works, that's open. You're going to see it's very simple, very, very simple and user-friendly. Click on a time that works for you. We're booked. I'll get in touch with you. We'll deal with all the logistics of getting on either a Zoom call or a phone call, but literally after that, it's up to me. I'll take care of the rest of it. You just show up for the call. So if you're interested in that, go over there and check it out. If you would also like to communicate with me, okay, please feel free to drop a comment below, send me an email at art@artburnscoaching, any way you'd like to get in touch with me. If you have some specific questions but you don't want to do the whole coaching session, that's fine. I'm here to help you, okay? And then also please do all the YouTube things, okay? Like, comment, subscribe, share, please. I really appreciate it. And on the podcast, please give me a rating, and a fair rating. Whatever you feel is fair, just do the rating, because it does help the algorithms to get this work in front of more people. And I would love to help more people. So if you could kindly do that, I would very much appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I wish you well, and I really appreciate you, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.